I know a lot of people have been waiting for something to happen, especially if you're a God-fearing patriot and you want your country back. And a lot of people have tried to discredit the Q or the movement, and we can see that it hasn't went away. But people are they're exhausted, and unfortunately, this is the way that it had to be to show the people the truth, to show how bad it really is going to get, because that's all these politicians and leaders have steered us before. Our history is so rich with culture, and I figured it out. I realized what this is, the Q game, to figure it all out, to use everything and use all the tools that were given to us. And I believe you had to be someone with a spiritual sense for God, because the only way you would have figured all of this out is if you had God. And if you kind of go through some of my pages and you really start to look at certain things, you'll start to see that God's hand was in this the entire time. And I was just a puppet along for the ride. And but now I'm here to show you guys the truth and to show you guys as we move forward. So one of the things that I caught, I used a couple of these pages to start getting this message out to let people know, like, there's no way they could have built what they did in the time frame that they did. And so if you go into these pictures, and I know they ain't very good, and you'll have to use your phone to blow them up, but I had to start somewhere. And honestly, the first year of trying to do this was kind of nerve wracking because I didn't know how to present this. I didn't know how to get people to see it, because I realized the state of emergency that people needed to see this. Because the sooner we see this, that they have lied about our history, the sooner we can start building on world peace. And I know that's why I have been sent by God, not to be a prophet, but to tell you guys about God's love and understanding and how He wants this world to return back to His love. And I believe we've been lied to about many things. And if I can prove that history is a lie, then you will also understand that a lot of things they probably said about God are not true. So this is a very interesting picture. This is down on Union Avenue. This is the before the train depot comes in. The second one they built. There was actually a first one. They don't even cover that in the flood of the PBS special. And that's the thing. There's train tracks and stuff that go here, and then there's a stone building that's still down today, or still being used today. And you can see once I go through all these videos, and if you follow me through my channel, you'll see that yeah, I figured out the matrix. I figured out the keys. And so, like I said, if you follow through and you go through some of my pages, and then some of it's very interesting by timestamps. And I don't know why God was adamant about timestamps. So I had to do. And so, like I said, when you put this together and you start really understanding, like, this tree was cut down in 1883 on Union Street, and I've showed pictures of the other one where in 1873 it's down on Santa Fe, and I'll go into that picture on my other page. But I just wanted to show you, like, I have been trying to get this out to show you guys the absolute craziness of this whole thing. If you come into my drive, the one that's shared with everybody, and I use this account just to show you, shared with me. Okay, so I went over Canyon City and the impossible time frame of that. And then if you go into some other videos that I've done about time, especially with Salida, Central City, and when they got the train and so forth, and how America was divided up and conquered by the territories and then the states. And I believe that there's more to our history than is what's being shown by far. And I believe that the rich and the powerful use this as a like the black market of American history and stuff. Because when I went through and looked at photographs, I could tell you right now, the United States, just in Colorado alone, has probably been here for maybe even 300 years. And when you look at the photographs and understand, we were at the pinnacle point of history by the 1900s. We were reaching supposedly the golden age of man, but then Satan decided to turn his attention to us. If you go into here, you can go into Denver, and I want to show you that they've done a lot of this stuff before, and a lot of this stuff has been invented, so forth. If you go into here, you can look through what I've tried to collect. and try to put in categories to make it easy for people to understand and look at stuff. If you go into electric cars in Denver, you can see that file. And if you maybe. And the other thing is I had all the links to this, and it it was absolutely stunning. Like that, I worked, and they changed the links in the Denver library, so I backed off of it. I don't know why that's not pulling up. Okay, so if we go down in here, you can see the electric car at the bottom, and this is the Denver building. And let me draw it out for you guys so you can see it. And if you go through, there's quite a few of them. And so that's what I want to show you guys is the hypocrisy and the lies that they've done. Here's another picture of a electric car, and here's another one where they actually had a trolley or um, oh, why are you not pulling up? I'm telling you, I've never seen so much weird stuff when I started to figure this out and how everything was happening in my life. And God's mysterious, and He will do His or work His miracles. I want to say magic, but Bible says to stay away from that. And I'm going to honestly tell you guys that's what the problem with the world is: black magic, and they've used it on everybody and everything, and they've used it through our music. But I also wanted you guys to know and show like who I am, and that I my life is to show you guys that we're all the same and that we need to come together and start working together. I don't care what you do at your house, as long as you ain't hurting anyone and destroying humanity or the earth. I don't care. But that's the thing, we all got to come together. And so when I went over Salida, and we'll go through the history of it again, I'll go over that now. I want you guys to really remember this. Salida grew quickly from 1880 to 1883, but saw many of its earliest buildings consumed by fire in 86 and 88. After the fire, the city passed an ordinance banning wood frame buildings in its town and the commercial district. Importantly, earlier buildings, including the DRG's Monte Cristo Hotel, 1883, as well as the Railroads Employee Hospital in 1885. Okay, so when I'm telling you guys to look through our history, you have to look at this bigger picture and realize what's actually transpiring. Now, I've had a couple of videos where I've gone through and shown, like, in their words and showing in what they say, actually. And when you understand and hear what they're saying, then you will start to waken from the spell of Satan. I know this is scary, trust me, brothers and sisters, the scariest thing I've ever had to do. And I had to put everything aside and go off pure faith for this. Nothing more but pure faith. And that was the only way that I've made it this far. There's no other way I would have made it. No, I'm not the best example for somebody to live an example of Jesus Christ's life. Not to the perfection that the world thinks, but to the perfection of what God thinks. And when you guys start to understand that the world has been deceiving and using us, and we've been here longer than anyone has taught, you'll start to understand what I'm trying to help you guys see. And maybe we can come together and start to figure out our history, because this is a key to our history. So, my other Twitter page is this one. I use this to help with the other. But I want you guys to realize that I was a Jehovah's Witness for a long time. And the reason why I was a Jehovah's Witness, because I had pure faith in God, that God would want nothing to do with any of the countries that are causing war and division, especially now. But also now, that's why God taught me so long, as He made me see that you have to work with humanity. And so that's what Q was an operation, infiltration. And then when the time was right, there would be an awakening of those who God has asked and placed in all over the earth. And that's this time now. Today, we are taking back our country. Today, the storm begins. And the storm begins with you. You don't think you have a lot of power. Like I said, I've been here for years trying to preach about this. And then when I finally figured out the full keys to everything, that God let me see it, then I went back and trying to help humanity learn that God is more than any religion on earth and that they're all ran by Satan. And we'll soon figure all of this out as we keep going and discovering. And this is the way it had to be. And unfortunately, it's going to be a shock to a lot of people, because trust me, everybody that knows me is going to tell you that I was completely blindsided by this, that I had no idea that God would choose me for this role. But now I understand why and what my role is. So find your role, find your voice, and trust me, you don't need anyone to talk to God. It's you, your heart. God is in you. You just have to look for him. So like I said, read your Bible and then understand that God is here for love.